welcome to Metal Mixtape here on KSQ 89.5 FM Ashland, Oregon, 94.1 FM Medford, Oregon, streaming online on KSQ. Dog, it's the boy, it's the Don, DJ Ramo, and I am just honored beyond belief to have one of the greatest voices to ever hit our generation, our entire generation of music. He's just amazing actor, amazing voice actor, amazing singer, the one and only Jason Paige. and joining me, I got some special friends. Jason,
Tori, Blake with the trading card post, and my wife.
Hi, Janae, and this is Baby Wit. He's gonna.
What's up, Baby Wit?
Oh yeah,
good to see you all. Thank you all for showing up today.
Yeah, no,
on time.
Oh yeah, we're all very family oriented, and when I knew we were gonna have the opportunity to talk to you, I was like, you know, meeting special people and having special moments is only special when you get to share it with others. And
100%.
You know,
100%.
Yeah, so for me, I was just like, you know what, I gotta get some of my most special friends, because Jason, you know, we're all in our 30s. We've all been in this for a long time, and this is just a special moment because we grew up watching you flourish, and we grew up just you being so influential to everybody, man. So just thank you for taking time out of your day.
Yeah. No, you're very welcome, and thank you for putting this out. It really is, you know, the magic of sharing this Pokemon universe of my voice that has been shared without my face or my name attached, and just literally making that connection with people releases the power that's inside. Yeah. It releases that nostalgic feeling inside of people when they just are told, hey, I'm going to be interviewing the guy that sang the Pokemon theme song. What? That's a guy? That's a person? I never thought about that before. And then they have this warm feeling of like, oh, wow, I listened to that song. But if you didn't remind them of it, it would never have released that power inside, that nostalgia, that joy, that purity, that it's just so good. So thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it.
No, absolutely, Jason. So, of course, you know, we do have some Pokemon questions later and everything. But the thing is that looking into your career, it started so much earlier, and you know, and it just really blew my mind because I watched your videos of you doing America the Beautiful with the Orchestra Surreal. I watched
what?
Yeah, I watched your videos of explaining the whole 30th anniversary of Michael Jackson, how they had you behind the white curtain and everything, and they were looking for somebody to do the rap. And Black and White just happens to be my favorite Michael Jackson song ever.
Yeah, it's a great song.
You know what I mean? So, but the thing is also one of the biggest things I saw was like I saw Little Jason in Star Search. What was it, 1986?
Oh.
Yeah. So I saw that and I was just like, this is just absolutely incredible. So I kind of want to know, you know, from kind of like a fan's perspective, like how you like whether it was like a family inspiration or you had musicians or actors in your family, like when did you know that you were different at a young age and you had so much to express to the world?
Well, my dad's a saxophone player and my grandfather was a drummer. My dad still plays gigs. As a matter of fact, he's playing with me on the 19th in Bel Air at a store. Really cool. My grandfather and my mom is very artistic in terms of drawing and painting and designing and but I think we're all incredibly expressive, creative, unique individuals. Like the song says, the very best, like no one ever was. Each one of us has our own unique way of expressing ourselves. When we're walking down the street and which lines we choose to jump over and which lines we choose to step on and how we walk and the patterns that we make as our, you know, like every insect walking around has its own past. So I don't think that I'm different from anybody else. I think I'm encouraged to continue expressing it and to think of it in a creative way. But everybody has this amazingly unique creative expression that they are individually doing like no one ever was. So, you know, a matter of fact, we all were born and we go, that's a C sharp. We're already singing when we come out. It's a natural expression to sing. We learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We learn how to sing before we can spell. We learn how to spell from singing. And you know, it's about society stopping us from doing that. And I had parents that were encouraging and got me out, you know, continued to encourage me to sing and express myself. All toys, Legos, Lego Mania, Lego Mania. It's just kids making stuff, you know. And before, when I was a kid, the Legos were a little bit more random. Now they want you to make what they want you to make out of the instructions. But Legos used to be, you make whatever you want out of this pile of bricks. And kids are drawing, so we are just inherently creative, expressive kids that are all unique and individual. And that one that you just put off camera is as well. So continue to encourage him to be that unique, expressive individual, just like you guys are.
Absolutely. And no, that's absolutely incredible. You know, I sometimes I'll watch that documentary on Shia LaBeouf on how his dad used to take him to like all these auditions in Hollywood and take him to all these spots where he had to go, like, you know. So for Star Search, like, for the people out there that don't know Hollywood that well, right? And how that all works, like how did the whole Star Search happen because the thing is, it's like, you know, you need your parents' permission, you need somebody to drive you there, like how did that whole start, where like you were trying to take the next leap into acting, into singing,
Right.
and that whole thing, educate us a little bit about how that whole Hollywood thing worked and how that kind of started you off.
Well, I moved in. I was going to school in Rockaway, Queens, in 8th grade, and my high school across the street was, you know, a frequent gunshot candidate. There was guns, and it was a really dangerous school. So I auditioned for Fame. I want to live forever. The Fame High School of Music and Art, Performing Arts, which encourages kids to be actors, singers, dancers, instrumentalists, and artists. And I auditioned as a singer and got into the school. Moved in from Queens to New York City to go be closer to the school after commuting for 2 hours the first half of my first year, from Queens all the way to Harlem. Moved into the Upper West Side, and on the Upper West Side there was a whole bunch of street performers that would come up and down during the summer months and just get these amazing crowds blocking traffic and making money, doing magic, juggling, balloon sculpting, artists, singers, all kinds of different, you know, crazy guys who would jump and flip over people, all kinds of street performers. So I got to know some of these guys and learn magic. And I did magic on the streets of New York City, creating a crowd. Now, while I was doing that magic as a 13, 14-year-old kid standing on a milk crate on the corner of Columbus and 76th Street, a manager came up to me and said, "Hey, I run a kids management company, Sensational Talent Management. Here's my card. Come on down and see me." And I went down and saw her, and she said, "Let's get you some headshots and send you out on auditions." Managers work with agents. The agents work with casting directors. The casting directors work with the client. So there's like 4 people in this chain right here to meet, and I'm the 5th person. So the Star Search calls up the casting people. The casting people call up the agents and say, we're casting. The agents call up either their clients or managers that have clients. And then I get sent on auditions for commercials, voiceovers, TV shows, movies, theater, all kinds of things. And meanwhile, learning to sing up in Music and Art High School, doing magic as a performer on the streets, and going on auditions for all these things. I booked that junior Star Search in the senior year of my high school. I took the 2 weeks to fly out. I flew out by myself to LA. I think my manager went. There was another kid in the agency that was part of the show in another way. I think he was a dancer or something. And we did the show. It was on Sunset Boulevard. We stayed at a hotel on Sunset Boulevard and then went all the way to the studio. I still remember this was my first time in LA. And it was because it had this like contest. It was the first contest show. Well, I guess not. There were some contest shows back in the 50s and 60s, but the first one major that I knew. And I was a little embarrassed that like I was in a competition show. It wasn't like I got a movie or a commercial I could tell everybody I was in. It was like, I'm in a contest show and they're going to judge me, and I didn't win. I came in second out of three.
By the way,
in
I
this
thought you should have won. By the way, I saw your
Thank you, thank
voting.
you.
I think you got like a couple threes and a couple twos, and I was like, that other guy that was not like Jason Page.
Yeah, it was weird. It's a weird context, and I'm convinced that they have sort of a type that they want to win, because that person wins, they get more eyeballs, they get more advertising. So they choose a lot of the blonde hair, blue eyed people at the time. That was the commercial type. That was what was going on in the auditions. I had a little bit longer hair, dark eyes, and I keep seeing the light haired guys, the blonde, blue eyed American like type that they wanted to promote as advertisers. Those guys would always get the job. So this guy was that guy in our thing. But I didn't tell anybody in my school that I had done this thing. I just went, I did it. I took my couple of days out of school. And when I came back in the morning after it aired, every class erupted in applause. They had all seen it. That's because this is back in the day when you had four major television stations, and that was it. And UHF, before the days of cable. So you were just flipping around to see what airwaves your antenna could pick up in New York City. And it picked up that, Fox, I think it was Fox, Ed McMahon, Star Search, instead of the news. They put it on right at the same time as the news. So everybody watched the Star Search thing. It was crazy. I was a celebrity in school for the first time.
Do you remember your first big break that you felt like was really significant in your life, as far as like, because you've done so much already in your career, and of course you've done a lot of things that were very monumental. After Star Search, do you remember like the first time where you were just like, like almost to your parents, like, hey, like, this could really start opening a lot of doors for me? Do you remember after Star Search like a big moment that kind of blew your mind?
Yeah. I did this one podcast with this dude, Omar Rodriguez, and I was like, yo, this dude's on the radio and he's podcasting at the same time, and he's researched my whole career. The dude's really like got my story together, so he's gonna put my shit out there in a way that's organic and real and not manipulated in these ways that all these other things. When I'm playing myself, finally I get to be myself in all my life, with a dude that really understands me, or I feel like he understands me, and he's gonna put that shit out. It's gonna be incredible. So but besides this moment right here, which is the moment of wow, it's really happening, because a dude like you contacts me to hear the whole story. The little pieces and the components, they seem like they're stepping stones, but they're really just points along a greater path. They don't get you anywhere. Other than to right here, to where I am right now. They just get you to the next thing that gets you to the next thing that gets you to the next thing, and they don't get you there unless you really use them in that way. And I hadn't started using Pokemon. Everybody say, oh, it's Pokemon, took it to the next level. 18 years of being the Pokemon theme singer, I did not use that credit at all. As a matter of fact, it was at the bottom of my list. No, I didn't talk about it. It wasn't relevant. The art was what was relevant. So, I think the main thing was getting accepted into the High School of Music and Art when I was 13, and getting out of Queens into another neighborhood that was my first singing performance, when I was like, I'm sailing away, setting open course for the Virgin Sea. That song was what got me in, and I love Dennis DeYoung, and I was able to perform this thing in the audition, and not know if I was good or not, because I had never performed anything before. It might have been actually the first day of class when they said, everybody stand up, and we're going to do the little warm-ups, and then everybody was stood up and we warmed up, and then the Mr. Knight was the teacher's name, and he said, everybody sit down except for you, and pointed at me. And everybody sat down, and I was left standing up. and he said, "Sing us the song you sang for your audition." And I sang it, and the room went crazy. And I was like, "Oh, this wasn't just an audition where I had no idea. This was the class going, whoa, that was great." And then I knew, like, oh, okay, I can do this. I got it. I got it. And then it was just the lifelong process of continuing to repeat that process every time I have to do it. I don't have it until I do it. I mean, I got it, but I still have to do it. And each case, each interview, each job is still that, all right, here we go. Let's get it. I got this. I got this. I can do it. Psyching myself into it, being prepared and ready, and, and executing on whatever it is, singing the song, rapping the rap, writing the song, producing it. It's always an execution process. So no one thing gets you there. It's just another step in a long line of a tapestry of our lives that we can put behind us in a Zoom backdrop.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. It just, I know when I hear about Hollywood, there's like, you were talking about how you never used the Pokemon as a credit. And also, like, I also understand, like, the vigorous schedule of, like, of like just all the auditionings, all the times, like, they don't talk about, like, the times you have to wake up early and be there on set, or be there to record, and the countless hours. Like,
Yeah.
for you to accept everything all at once, and then also start getting all these opportunities, how was your mindset in having to deal with everything all at once, being a younger guy, and somebody seeing you on the streets doing magic, and all of a sudden, like, you're getting thrown into all these opportunities? Like what was how were you able to, like, not be so overwhelmed and be able to just continue to grow? Like how was it in your brain to just deal with everything? How'd you deal with everything, rising up into the ranks?
I think, well, I was born in Texas, and I moved to Baltimore when I was 1.5 with my parents. My parents split up, and we moved from my grandparents' house to another apartment complex where from probably age 3 to 4. And then age 4, 5, I moved to another apartment complex and started going to different schools. Went to a nursery school, and then a Catholic kindergarten, and then a Jewish first grade. Then I was taken out and put into a regular grade school from 2nd to 5th grade. My grandfather lived in Florida. He passed. My mom went down there. We both went down there. I moved down to Florida my 5th grade. So then I had already been in 5th grade in Florida. 5th grade is middle school in Florida. 6th grade is 5th grade is elementary school. 6th grade is middle school. So then I went to 6th grade in Florida. My mom met a dude in New York. We moved to New York. 6th grade is back to elementary school in New York. 7th grade in Brooklyn. 8th grade in Rockaway. And 9th grade in Upper West Side. So I had gone to 10 different schools over my 12-year school period. And this is what prepared me for the various ways that you adapt to individual environments that command different things. And I think that's good. School is that's the one good thing about the constantly changing environment of school. When they throw you into another class, and then they throw you into another grade with new people, and then they put you in another school, you're constantly disoriented and have to sort of reorient yourself with a new group of people in a new environment with new things going on. Before you're even figured out the last thing, you're already on to a new thing. And that is what the music industry is. That is what the acting industry is. It's a new script with a new character and a new client and a new environment every day, or every audition, and to every job, and to every show is going to be that. And part of the joy is being able to manipulate myself into all of those various characters that each one of these projects needs in order to satisfy the producers of it, the client, the people doing it, or the artist that wants me to sing backgrounds, or, so there's a balance between that, doing what everybody else wants, other people's work, OPP, other people's projects. You down with OPP? Other people's projects, and your own project. and that project is my own expression of my own art, my own ideas. So I think I had that balance because I always did my own music and wrote my own songs and performed my own music in various ways, recorded my own music. So you have the balance of doing all these different things for everybody else to build my skills, to build my finance, my career, and I'm expressing myself in ways that help me emotionally cleanse of and emotionally understand who I am by putting it out in front of me in writing. I've kept up journals for many years, and a lot of my songwriting comes from those journals. And a lot of my songwriting would also come from the ideas that I get in the world about the things that I learn with all these projects. But yeah, I think that's how we keep it together. We become diverse individuals through the challenges that we overcome as children.
That's amazing, man. Because like, all of us are dreamers, and sometimes, when we get overwhelmed, there's times where we want to quit, and there's times where it just becomes like it's too much, and so I always just admire hearing from somebody like you who's done so many projects, who's really like, you just like, I would have never known that you moved all around while you were a little kid to all these schools, and then also just how diverse you are in all these projects. Like, sometimes in my day in life, I'm just like, I want to juggle so much, and I want to do so much, and sometimes you're just like, man, like, either I'm just insane, or I'm a machine, or I am just addicted. So when I see somebody on your level who has done so many amazing projects, it's always just interesting how the mindset is of an individual who does so much.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of about the fun and keeping things new, and part of that may be maybe making it more difficult to build one thing that is high, but I build a bigger, a wider reality that is not so high or takes longer to rise up. The bricks of this tapestry took a long time to make, but it's very wide, as opposed to just one thing. All I do is I sing a musical theater, and then I'm a musical theater guy, and that's it. Or I'm a rock guy, and that's it. Or I'm a rapper, and that's it. Or I'm a writer, and that's it. I'm more than that, and it takes longer to rise if you're wider.
No, absolutely, man. Like I was saying earlier, like, all these projects that you've done, it's just it's so incredible how, like, in your brain, like I feel like everybody can tap this, where like where like you can literally like manipulate and manifest your thoughts wherever you ever need it to be, like, as far as like how you're doing with like your acting, or your singing, or your producing, or your writing. And it's just incredible. I would need 10 hours to talk about every project that you've ever done in your entire life. But before we get into some of the Pokemon questions, I just want to talk about I know there's a video out there about how you did the rap for the 30th year anniversary for Michael Jackson's show Black and White. So how was that whole environment backstage? Like, for people who don't know, like, the musical environments and the Hollywood environments and the environments of having like Slash and all these amazing massive superstars, and then and you have Jason Paige here who's helping with the production and singing and doing all these amazing things. Like how mind blowing was it? And also, from the stories I hear of Michael Jackson, I hear he's very wants everything to be perfect, wants everything to be on schedule, wants everything to be on point and to happen exactly how it's supposed to happen. So how is that whole environment where and also, like, maybe a quick little briefing of like how it was when, like, because I watched your video and how they were looking for somebody to do the rap, and how you immediately raised your hand. Yeah. So tell me the whole environment of that production.
Well, the show rehearsed at Chelsea Piers, which is this giant multiple spaces all in one area, where like it was almost like a convention, like a Comic-Con sized event. The band, and they had to set up this stage that could accommodate all of the various elements that had to go down, which were the choirs and the dancers, dozens of dancers on stage, the band and the background singers and the orchestra, and everybody in this room had to be organized, and they all had to have their own little holding areas as well, their own backstage, their own private areas where they could figure their stuff out before they came on to the main stage to do it. And it was incredibly organized, very well organized. And each one of the guest artists had their own little slot that they would come in to rehearse in. And sometimes they would be, the timing would be messed up. Somebody needed to come in later. Somebody needed to come in earlier. Luther Vandross was there earlier than later. Sometimes we couldn't get anybody until the day of. They only could show up and backstage, go over a few things. And there's a lot of elements to combine. I remember one of the things that I remember was Whitney Houston came in with Bobby Brown and to do the Whitney Houston number. Bobby Brown wasn't even in the show, but they were married at the time, and they were in their wilding out stage of their relationship, and the tabloids were showing what they were doing, and they came in with a crew of like 20 people rolled up in there, just like they had just come from the party, the after party and the after party, and then rehearsal happened, and they rolled up with the whole party running into the place, and it was scary. I mean, it wasn't scary in a bad way. It was scary in like, what's happening here? We're having an organized rehearsal, and you people grab the microphone and are just like, yo, just dancing and carrying on like it was a party. And Michael was a little bit overwhelmed by that scenario, and they couldn't really calm the party down to get the rehearsal happening. So they cut one of Whitney's numbers. And at some point, we did go through the second number that she did do. If you watch the video, she's actually in one number. But there was supposed to be a second number, and they got cut because it was a ballad, and they just couldn't focus it because there was too much activity going on in the party that they brought in. And I remember one of the dancers was crying, and we were like, why? Well, what's the matter? What's the matter? And he was like, it was just Whitney. Whitney was not the Whitney that I thought. He was like so struck by her character. He had this idea of her, and she came in not being that idea. And he was very emotional about it. It was an incredible rehearsal process. Michael's, like you said, he wanted everything very organized, and he was not like there was no anxiety. There was no intensity to anything except the performance and when he got in the zone, when he sang and when he danced. After that, he was just kind of talking and just normal. You expected this amplified, energetic, intense thing to happen after he stopped being all of those things in his music, and he was just like relaxed, calm, normal, very, very relatable, very just normal is the thing that I think is the word that sticks out. So it all just got organized really well. When we finally got to the show, we weren't told, and I don't know if they knew. I mean, they must have known that there would be 15 minutes of applause after each song. And we were like, what's going on? What's happening? What? They were resetting all the different props and the different people that had to come on for each song. So they had these very long segments in between the songs that we didn't really know about. We thought something was wrong because it was taking so long to get to the next song. And it was really because they had so much production value that really we didn't see in rehearsal, because that was another level of preparation that was going on in the venue while we were rehearsing at the Chelsea Piers. So it was just a 7-headed dragon that was like just hot, breathing fire everywhere. The lights, the sound, the dancers, the orchestra, the choirs, the bands, the the background singers, everybody was like on point and all coordinated to make this thing happen. It was. I don't think there'll be anything like it. I've seen some of these shows. Beyonce does some of these shows with with all the dancers and the crazy venue. They're walking around the stage. It's kind of like that, except now just add in 40 of the greatest singers of our time that all have to be integrated into it, and the Jackson 5. And you'll have like a cross between like Live Aid or Woodstock and a Beyonce and a current Beyonce concert.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you go.
Okay, so one of the things I really loved was when you did do the rap section to Black and White. When you watched the live video, it was awesome seeing like everybody like at their tables singing with you, and doing the rap with you, and in my head, like I wasn't envisioning how awesome it was, but I was just envisioning you and how you must have felt knowing that like people were singing along with you, all these other superstars and hip hop artists and rap artists, and I'm just watching this going like, man, this guy's having the time of his life right now.
Yeah, and it was incredible.
Yeah, no, it's incredible. All right, I don't want to take.
I just have a couple of things. I had some friends that were at the show that knew that were filming me.
Oh, okay.
They were actually with the video camera in the venue filming me doing it.
Oh.
And so people could see me doing it, even though on the video that you watch, it's these other guys that have microphones for some reason. I don't know why they never use them, but they're walking around on stage acting all tough with the microphones. Very cool.
Dude, that's awesome. Dude, that's awesome. Jason, we're not gonna take too much more of your time. We're gonna get right into the Pokemon questions. Just to knock.
Sure. Take your time. Take your time.
All right.
Like I said, this is the most important, interview of my life.
Hey,
Thank you.
hey! This is the most important in my life, man.
And look, he's sleeping on us.
I'm sorry. Very, very rude of him. But he had a question. It is, did you think that your voice song would be a part of 90s pop culture history when you recorded it?
Yes.
Yeah.
uh,
Like you felt that it was going to be big, right?
Well, Lego Mania was already out, and I had done a dozen other jingles at the time that had already been part of the pop culture. If you always Coca-Cola. If you hear these things, and I knew they were out there in the world, so I knew that this could be as well. So that's why we go in there and try to really understand what the job is, understand how to do it, understand how to deliver the message of the client, which is the message of Ash, really, and the whole idea of Pokemon, and with as much energy and as I can muster up that day. Having just come from probably, another jingle session for Barbie or something, another cultural phenomenon.
Our daughter would that, yeah.
yeah. And also one thing that was going on at the time is I had this public access cable TV show called The What's Up Show. I think it's right there, a little circle.
Okay.
Right there. See it? Yeah. And that was on Manhattan Public Access. So twice a week, Thursdays and Sundays at 10 p.m. And this is when we first got cable, so you could flip between like 18 channels on cable. 17 was VH1, 16 was MTV, and 15 was Manhattan Public. It's always right there as you're flipping around. And this TV show was my personal expression of all the crazy stuff I want. Saturday Night Live meets Kids in the Hall meets Monty Python. So we would do all kinds of crazy stuff. Meets The New World, meets Jackass. We were YouTube and the internet before the internet happened. And every week people would watch the show. They'd put it on in bars in New York City. And when I would go into a jingle house, they'd be like, yo, we watched your show. It was incredible. Oh my God, that stupid skit you guys did where you were running down through the park or whatever crazy thing we did. They had already seen it. So I was sort of a underground phenomenon in New York City, an anonymous cultural phenomenon in whatever jingles I had done. And so, yeah, let's just keep it going. Let's keep it going with Omar Rodriguez stream phenomenon, a YouTube Zoom podcasting phenomenon from this point on.
I know. I love it. I love it.
Do you want to do one of yours?
No, that's one of
Okay.
the start of yours.
I have to know what's your favorite Pokemon.
I say I don't have favorites because I don't like to limit myself by having one Pokemon. See, because now and I always say, but I don't have favorites. I have experiences, and I have the experience of Mr. Mime in the movie. I thought he was really good, and then in the last episode, he was sweeping the floor. I do wear a Gengar chain that's I call Blingar because everybody's wearing these blinged out Gengars. Yeah. So, but that's if they had a blinged out, Mewtwo or a blinged out Dog Trio, I'd be wearing that. I have to be open to the experiences, but because I've been saying Mr. Mime, now people are making me Mr. Mime stuff. So now it's like I'm limited. I've limited myself by even answering this question this way. And now I've got this girl made this Mr. Mime thing for me, and she put a JP logo on his chest and made a little card of it. It's really cool. But yeah, I have experiences, not favorites.
That makes sense. Have you followed Pokemon since the original 151?
Only since 2016 when I popped out of the Pokeball. I was trapped inside until then. I had no idea that there were even Comic-Cons that I could go to where there would be thousands of people who grew up on the song. I had no idea that there was this ecosystem. Oh, yeah, you got the vinyl.
Yeah.
That was, oh, man, that's an incredible piece right there. That is the Video Games Live remix version. Yeah. The first time Tommy Tallarico, it's signed by Tommy Tallarico from Video Games Live, and he put that on vinyl, put his thing on vinyl to give away at some of our events, and we had a whole bunch left, and I was able to get them to people online, unless you got it at a Video Games Live.
I got that from you in person in 2019 at the Pasadena, the little anime thing they had down there.
Yeah, Pasadena. Cool, dude.
So,
yeah, it's excellent.
We've had that in the collection for a while, so I was like, I'm going to bring that down today. So
did you play it? Have you played it?
I haven't. It's just been sitting in our cabinet for all these years. So.
Yeah, vinyl's coming back, and they have better record players now. Like, it's a pretty cool thing. It has to be redone in a certain way now for vinyl, to be remastered for vinyl. Okay. It's really cool, but they make it sound, it sounds really old school when you play it.
Yeah. No, we'll have to check that out. Yeah, no.
We've just had it in our display cabinet.
We've just been appreciating it. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys. That's excellent. What a good memento.
So, is there anything you collect? What do you collect?
I a VHS tape, a Pokemon VHS that was sealed, and I thought, I got to get this graded. I got to get it encapsulated because they can only, at least there's one company that grades the sealed VHS tapes. So I took it to the IGS, and I got like 8 of them. And when they gave it back to me, it said Jason Paige collection, whatever the name of the show was, autographed. And then I had the grade 8, 5, and 9, or whatever. So they grade the seal and they grade the box. They don't grade the episode or the autograph, really. Which is interesting because you can have the autograph graded too. But it said the Jason Paige collection. I was like, what's that mean? And they were like, well, this is you brought this in from your collection. So you have your own collection. And I'm like,
that's awesome.
Okay. Does that mean that I can bring in any videotape and it'll be the Jason Paige collection? And they're like, yeah, you've got your own label of your own collection. You're a VHS collector and your label is right here. And I was like, oh, wow. So then I started looking for VHS tapes that are sealed. And every time I see one in a thrift store, I grab it and I send it in and get it slabbed for my collection.
Nice.
That was like, so I'm collecting VHS tapes sealed.
That's awesome.
Cool.
And obviously OG tapes because they also do DVDs, but I'm just doing the VHS tapes. So I try to get VHS tapes of projects that I've worked on, old school things here, like Election. I have that one. I try to get Mission to Mars and some of these other ones if they ever get put on VHS. And I have my own Pokemon collection, Pokemon card collection as well,
Oh, nice.
and different things that fans give me. Somebody just made me a 3D card. It's an Eevee card, and it's an Eevee, but it's set back inside of like a box of Pokemon cards. They like take 10 Pokemon cards and they hollow them out, and they make it like a 3D card.
Nice.
So unique Pokemon cards I've been collecting. I also, in order to sign and autograph Pokemon cards that people bring to me, I have to know about the value of them, so that that I can protect somebody will bring me a really high value card, and an autograph on that will make the card worth 10-20% more. If it's a $5,000 card, they can make $1,000 off of an autograph without even, and I don't even know it's $1,000. It's a $5,000 card. So I have to kind of know when they're bringing these items in that are for resale, so I don't get taken advantage of for somebody to make all this money. There's a guy who draws the Charizard cards. He's the artist, Mitsuhiro Arita. He draws the Charizard cards, and when he draws on a Charizard card, people resell it. So he has to. Sometimes he puts their name on it, or he does some kind of thing so that it makes it. And then people they wipe off the names. They get a way to clean the name off, and then they resell the card. So he's trying to figure out ways to protect it, so it doesn't lower the value.
Yeah,
ultimately.
I've met Mitsuhiro Arita.
Oh yeah,
a few base set Charizards signed by him.
Yeah. His prices are pretty high too.
Yeah, well, I met him in 2019 in Ocala, Florida. I actually drove from Oregon to Florida to meet him. And,
wow.
Yeah, super cool guy.
He travels.
Yeah, we met. We went to Texas in 2019. Met Masakazu Fukuda, who does the Gold Stars. Had some stuff signed by him, and then
cool.
2022, I went to Baltimore and met Kuki Saito and had some cards signed by him. So
you're a super collector, man. You got it.
Yeah, I'm a big autograph
and an investor.
So
yeah.
I appreciate the artwork that they do and stuff. So if I can have a card signed by the artist, that just makes it more special to me. Something that I can really appreciate. So,
yeah, no, it's a great thing, and they do sometimes they do their art on the card, which blows the value up even more.
Yeah,
it's great.
Exactly.
It's great that you guys like you, collectors and investors, they're the ones that keep the ecosystem going and keep the value proposition for these cards going, because it's an adult it's an adult activity to understand these values and be able to to make good decisions on how it's like stocks. It's like investing in stocks. It's like but stocks that you love because from your child, they represent your childhood. Yeah. Really cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So when you meet a lot of these famous people, do you ever get any autographs from them, or do you have your own autograph collection of people that you've met?
I have a Yukimori.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Okay. Yeah,
and I did not ask. We went to the Hawaii Pop Con, and Arita was there.
Okay.
And we just wound up hanging out with him 2 days. So because we were so kind of close, I didn't ask him for his autograph. Okay. I gave him a whole bunch of things of mine that he might be interested in, but I didn't ask him for his autograph because we were having dinner, and it was it passed the point of that. It passed the point of autographs. Yeah. It was very interesting, but maybe next time I see him, he'll give me some.
Yeah.
He'll just throw me a couple.
Cool. Pretty cool.
All right. To end the interview, I'm gonna shoot you 3 fun questions. It can be 30 seconds or less. And they're gonna be completely random. Are you ready, Jason?
I'm ready.
All right. In a zombie apocalypse, you can only have one weapon to take down the zombie horde, and it can't be the cure or a nuke. What is your one weapon?
I turn invisible.
All right. Ooh. I like it. Okay, before I ask this next question, do you like horror movies?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, how about
I don't watch a lot of movies, but
all right. I'm gonna ask you a Pokemon question then. It's completely transferable. All right, if you could choose your death, but it had to be by a Pokemon, which Pokemon would it be, and what would be their special move for them to kill you?
can it be a trainer?
Yeah. I love it. All right. All right.
I'm gonna get suffocated by Misty.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I like it. And last question, what is your top 3 favorite heavy metal bands?
Oh.
Because we are a radio show, but we do metal on here, you know. But we
Merciful
do
Fate.
everything. I mean, I love it. Merciful Fate,
King Diamond, Merciful Fate, Queensryche, and Def Leppard isn't really heavy metal, but
Oh, I
they
love
had
Def
the mess. Yeah, but they had. I mean, I don't know. Does that count?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
it's
that-
more
that
hard
counts,
rock
yeah.
than heavy metal. Merciful Fate is up in the heavy metal
I love
category.
And, I'm just gonna give you a 5-second compliment before we end the interview. Watching your live videos of Blood, Sweat, and Tears, I was just like this. I was like, man, dude, Jason can do whatever he wants with his voice, dude. It's insane because you like went into like a lower register and you're singing as this completely different tone, and I'm just like, dang, dude. Like,
That was the best gig. Those guys are so talented. Every member of that band, which is, I think it's over 200 members in the band so far, since 1967, I think is when they started. They were around before I was born. Crazy. So good. Thank you so much, bro. You have really done your research, and I really appreciate your interview style.
Well, the thing is, right now my mom's watching my son. You know, we're all family, so we want to make sure the time we are away from our families are important and are valued, and we want to value you. And we know you're busy, and if we're taking time out of your day, we want to make it as worth it as possible.
Absolutely, dude. Thank you.
right.
You certainly have.
All right, this has been
thank you
Janae,
so much.
Tori, and myself. Last but not least, I ask everybody this. Can you say this is Jason Paige, and you are listening to the Metal Mixtape?
This is Jason Paige, and you're listening to the Metal Mixtape.
All right, Jason.
Metal Mixtape.
All right, brother.
Yes.
I'll see you later. Thank you so much, and have a beautiful day.
Have a great day.
Thank you, my friend.
Okay.
Peace.
Take care.